You shot a foot to the left, I'll be dead.
I wanted you dead, you'd be dead.
19-year-old girl was kidnapped.
She a good kid?
She's a great kid. She's like family to me.
Get my back if I ever need it.
In a world where survival is not about fighting monsters or chasing dreams, but simply about getting through the day, A Working Man stands as a deeply human and emotional story about endurance, dignity, and purpose. It's not about heroes or villains. It's about the ordinary people who wake up every morning, put on their uniforms, and push through the quiet struggles of life. The film captures the essence of what it means to keep going when the world seems to have forgotten you, painting a raw and powerful portrait of a man's relationship with his work, his pride, and his identity in a changing world. The story follows a man who has spent his entire life working in the same factory, dedicating every ounce of his strength and time to his job. The factory isn't just a workplace for him, it's a second home, a place filled with memories, friendships, and a sense of belonging that gives meaning to his days. But when the factory closes down, everything he's ever known begins to crumble. Without work, he loses not just his livelihood, but his sense of purpose. The walls that once echoed with the sounds of machines now stand silent, and that silence becomes unbearable. This moment becomes the turning point that sets the film in motion, leading the man on a quiet yet powerful journey of rediscovering himself beyond his job title. The performance at the heart of A Working Man is what gives the film its emotional power. The lead actor delivers a portrayal that feels so genuine, so grounded in truth, that you can feel every emotion through his eyes, the weariness, the stubborn pride, the quiet hope. Every gesture, every pause, every sigh carries the weight of years spent in repetition, sacrifice, and unnoticed effort. The supporting cast complements his journey beautifully, portraying characters who reflect different aspects of the working-class experience, those who have moved on, those still clinging to the past, and those caught somewhere in between. Their interactions feel natural and unforced, creating a sense of realism that makes the film so relatable and emotionally resonant. Visually, the film uses a subdued and naturalistic style. The cinematography mirrors the life of its main character, steady, patient, and filled with details that might seem ordinary at first glance, but carry deep meaning. The shots of the empty factory floors, the dusty lockers, and the dim lights of the break room create a haunting beauty that lingers long after the credits roll. The color palette is muted, dominated by grays and blues, reflecting the fading hope and quiet melancholy of its protagonist. Yet there are moments when light breaks through the gloom, small, fleeting glimpses of warmth that symbolize the resilience of the human spirit. The film's score adds another layer of emotion to its storytelling. It doesn't rely on grand orchestral pieces or overpowering music. Instead, it uses minimal atmospheric tones that subtly underline the emotional depth of each scene. The music doesn't tell you what to feel, it simply allows you to feel it on your own. The quiet moments, filled with nothing but the hum of the environment or the soft rustle of fabric, often speak louder than any dialogue could. This choice makes the film more intimate and personal, giving the audience space to reflect and connect. One of the most powerful themes explored in A Working Man is identity. It asks the question, who are we when the thing that defines us is taken away? For many people, work is not just a means of survival, it's a source of pride and purpose. The film explores how easily that sense of self can unravel when routine disappears, and how hard it can be to rebuild when the world moves on without you. It's not just a story about unemployment, it's a story about loss, resilience, and the quiet strength it takes to start over. The film also reflects on the changes in modern industry, how automation, closures, and economic shifts affect not only jobs, but entire communities. The characters are not portrayed as victims, but as people navigating a harsh reality with dignity. Their struggle is universal, resonating with anyone who has ever felt left behind by progress or unseen by society. The story shows that even in moments of despair, there's beauty in perseverance and grace in the simple act of showing up, even when no one seems to notice. Throughout the film, subtle details build the emotional weight of the story. The way the main character folds his uniform, the way he looks at his reflection before leaving for work that no longer exists, or the small rituals he continues to perform, all these moments tell us about his inner world, without the needy. The director's attention to these small human gestures turns ordinary actions into profound symbols of love, loyalty, and loss. Each scene feels like a quiet observation of a life slowly unraveling, yet still filled with unspoken strength. The film's pacing is deliberate, giving time for every emotion to sink in. It doesn't rush to deliver answers or dramatic climaxes. Instead, it trusts the audience to sit with the silence, to feel the emptiness, and to find meaning in the stillness. This approach makes the experience deeply immersive and thought-provoking. By the time the film reaches its final act, every small moment has built up to a sense of quiet catharsis, not a loud resolution, but a deeply moving realization that life continues and purpose can be found again, even after everything seems lost. The ending of A Working Man is both heartbreaking and hopeful. It doesn't offer a fairy tale conclusion or a sudden miracle. Instead, it ends on a note of quiet acceptance, a moment of peace that comes from within. The man may not have reclaimed his old life, but he has found a new sense of self-worth, rooted not in his job, but in his humanity. That subtle yet powerful transformation is what makes the story unforgettable. It's a reminder that true strength doesn't always come from grand actions, but from the courage to keep moving forward when the world gives you nothing to hold on to. The dialogue throughout the film is sparse but meaningful. Every line feels deliberate, carrying emotional weight and authenticity. When the characters speak, it feels like they're saying things they've been holding inside for years. There's a poetry to the simplicity. It's not about clever lines or dramatic speeches, but about the honesty that comes from real life. That authenticity is what connects with the audience, making the story feel deeply personal, no matter who you are or where you come from. As a whole, A Working Man is a quiet masterpiece, a film that doesn't shout to be heard, but speaks straight to the heart. It celebrates the unsung heroes of everyday life, the people who build, clean, fix, and create without expecting recognition. It honors the small acts of persistence that keep the world turning, even when no one notices. Through its deeply emotional storytelling and grounded performances, the film becomes more than just a movie. It becomes a reflection of real human lives and struggles. For audiences, this film leaves an impact that lingers long after watching. It makes you reflect on the value of work, the meaning of purpose, and the simple dignity of living with integrity. It reminds us that behind every job title, there's a human being with dreams, fears, and a story worth telling. In its quiet way, A Working Man becomes a voice for millions who live this truth every day, those who may not make headlines, but whose effort keeps the world alive. The film's release has been met with admiration for its emotional depth and raw realism. Many viewers have praised its honesty and the way it captures life's quiet struggles without exaggeration. It's the kind of story that grows on you not through spectacle, but through empathy. The trailer itself hinted at this tone beautifully, giving just enough to intrigue without revealing too much. It set the stage for a heartfelt journey about self-discovery, loss, and resilience, perfectly reflecting the tone of the full movie. At its core, A Working Man is about hope, not the loud cinematic kind, but the quiet, stubborn hope that keeps a person standing, even when everything else falls apart. It's a film that doesn't just show hardship, it shows the courage it takes to face it. The message is timeless and universal. Our worth is not defined by what we do, but by who we are. It's a reminder that even in a world obsessed with success and productivity, there's beauty and honor in simply being human. In the end, A Working Man feels like a tribute to all those who've ever felt invisible, to everyone who's kept going when life gave no applause. It captures the poetry of persistence and the dignity of ordinary life. The final moments of the film leave you sitting in silence, not because there's nothing left to say, but because the story has already said everything that truly matters in its own quiet, powerful way.